So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. Aston Villa don't get Champions League football. That's all their own fucking fault, and it's the referee's fault, and it's a lot of people's fault. Going into the game today, there was a lot of permutations that could have happened. No, I didn't expect Newcastle to lose to Everton. I didn't expect Aston Villa to lose in the manner that they did against Manchester United. This is galling. I'm really annoyed. I'm really annoyed, and I'm just trying to keep it together. This is going to be a short post-match podcast, to be honest with you. I don't feel like I need to do a big one. You guys know all about it. You guys don't need to hear me shout and roar. A lot of people have said to me, even Matt Law and a couple of other guys I've had on this year, they've said, we've been cathartic after losses. I don't have it in me to be cathartic after this loss. I don't have it, guys. I don't have it. I'm sorry. I really don't. And the reason I don't is because this was it was a weak performance from us. The man who made it all about himself last week by crying in front of the Aston Villa fans goes away and shits down his leg by taking out a United player. Yes, it was a bad pass from Cash. Stupidity. 2 minutes from half time, and we didn't play well. We didn't have, and then when we go into the second half, we don't 10 players not playing well in Old Trafford. Don't really have it. Like, everybody's hoping Newcastle lose at that stage. It's really out of our hands. And then we get a glimmer. Morgan Rogers has the ball in the back of the net for what is is a stone wall legitimate goal, but Thomas Bramall decides to blow his whistle. From a mile and a half back the field. Couldn't be sure that there was any foul. VAR more or less confirmed it was a goal and said there's nothing we can do because the whistle was blown beforehand. What the fuck are we playing at? Clear and obvious. What are we playing at? I know the rules are there. I knew it straight away. The second it went to VAR, I knew it could not be a goal because he'd blown the whistle. My biggest issue is, why did he blow the whistle? Why is Watkins allowed play on for a minute after he's offside and takes the ball wide earlier on before the linesman puts his flag up? What are we doing? What are the referees doing? That is a goal. Villa should have been 1-0 up. Villa go 1-0 down. Ahmad scores 3 minutes afterwards. That's weakness on Villa's part as well. Massive weakness on Aston Villa's part. You know you're 1-0. You know Newcastle are 1-0 down. And if you don't know Newcastle are 1-0 down, that's weakness on the management's part. That ball is clipped into the back post. There is nobody. Maatsen isn't within an ass's roar. Was it? Yeah, it was Maatsen. Not within an ass's roar of Ahmad at the back post. I don't know. I don't know. Is all I have to say. We can talk about corruption. We can talk about the Premier League being this, that, and the other, and referees, and that's all right. If you say that, you're 100% right. But what a nightmare showing from Aston Villa today as well. What a nightmare showing. Like if you were to put money on how bad Aston Villa would be today, a bookie would not take your odds. Would not take your money. They wouldn't give you odds on it. We were just awful. And then the referee compounds it by making that awful, awful, awful decision, which turns the game on its head. Turns the game on its head. We lost our head after that. I don't have much more to say. Yes, it's like, don't get me like, we're in Europe next year. It's Europa League. I don't think that we should be. Sorry, you guys can be whatever way you want to be. If people are pissed off, and you should be, because we should be in the Champions League. Villa should have been better today. The referee should not have made that mistake today, and Villa should be in the Champions League. But we're not. And it's very deflating. And I don't really have much more to say. I know the boys in Claret and Blue are going on in 10 minutes' time. I hope they're still going on anyway, because I was chatting to Rollo. But like, I can't be cathartic today. It's been a long season. It's been 38 games of highs and lows and ups and downs. It's been Champions League of whirlwind stuff. It's been an FA Cup final where we failed to perform in the FA Cup final day. And then we come to the 38th game of the season in Old Trafford and we failed to perform again. It's an awful way to go out. It's an awful way to go out. And there's players there that will not play for Aston Villa again that were playing today, namely the man who got sent off. And we can talk about that. I can talk about that. I need to get a couple of things on my chest. Cash's pass back was ridiculous, but like, what is Emi Martinez doing? Rasmus Højlund, I agree wholeheartedly with it, with Ali McCoist. Mark the date and time in your calendar. I agree wholeheartedly with Ali McCoist. Rasmus Højlund going that wide on his left foot with Pau Torres coming back, and Emi Martinez just decides to basically spear him. I don't know. What are we doing? What are we doing? From minute one, we didn't have our shit together. And minute 98, we get a couple of shots, or minute 96, or whatever. We potentially get out of jail free thing, which the referee made a massive mistake in. Absolute massive mistake in, because it was not a foul. And he calls that from 35, 40 yards back. He calls that from way back. It wasn't a foul. VR can't get involved because he blows his whistle. And then Villa concede then because we just weren't on it. We weren't on it from minute one, but certainly we're not on it like after that. I know players can crowd around the ref and everything like that and try and influence him, but in that instance, you can't influence him. He's blowing his whistle before the ball has gone into the back of the net. I know the players maybe didn't know that, but he made the mistake and he couldn't change his mind. And VAR couldn't change his mind for him. And that's a failing in the laws and it's failing in the rules and it's cost Aston Villa 100 million. People will say, but you lost 2-0. Yeah, we would have been 1-0 up. You think if we don't score that goal that we aren't making wholesale changes to shore up defence? I don't know. I can't. Yeah, I. We've all summer to think about that, and to think about that performance, and it's going to have a huge effect because, guys, we've 6 days till the end of May and we've 30 days till the end of June, and PSR is going to come and it's going to bite us in the hole. It just is. And I would feel it was an awful lot easier to accept that if we had 100 million coming in from European football next year from the Champions League, but we won't. And we won't because of our own silly play, downright poor play, and a ridiculously poor decision from a referee. And that's not what football's about. Football isn't about this. It isn't about worrying about PSR for the next 36 days. It isn't about, big, massive decisions being... Well, I suppose football is about big, massive decisions hinging on the fortunes and favours of a club. But one like that, when there's so many directives around the game at the moment with regards to whistling and refereeing, and you've got VAR on your side, that if you need to use it, you can use it. I don't know whether Stuart Atwell would have come down on his side if he didn't blow the whistle, but he shouldn't. But unless you're 100% sure in that situation, you don't blow the whistle. I don't know. I'm at a loss. And it's going to take me a while to get over that game. I'm not interested in doing any scouting series now. At 12 minutes past 6 on the 25th of May. I don't know. It's It's a cruel sport, but it's made even crueler by literally everything that happened today was cruel from minute one. Martinez sending off. We may never see him in an Aston Villa jersey again. None of us, you know what, like, much and all this, he's been brilliant for us, and we can all agree, none of us want to see him go out like that in an Aston Villa shirt. And he's gone out, and you could effectively say he tied one hand behind our back by getting sent off. That's going to stick with me. Like, every time I see Emi Martinez again, if he doesn't play in an Aston Villa shirt and doesn't get a chance to redeem himself, you know, you're kind of going to go, that absolute horrible game that we had against Manchester United, that's stamped on his forehead. And it's stamped on a lot of these players' forehead after today. And it'll be stamped on Thomas Bramall's forehead as well for time immemorial. That he made that mistake in that big game that arguably changed the whole perplexion of the game, or the whole direction of the game. Not direction of the game. Well, it did, because if we scored, you know, against the run of play, Lady Luck shines upon you. But Lady Luck didn't. Lady Luck certainly didn't show up. Well, she did show up, because United should have been 4 or 5-0 up. But in that one instance, she wasn't there. And I might be harsh. Some of you might say, Neil, you're being very harsh on Emi Martinez. It was Amadi Cash's fault. I've dealt with that. I've talked about that. I'm talking about why this is going to be a sour taste in my mouth for the next 3 months of football. We're going to be into the PSR. Every single one of our players will be linked to a move now, because we don't have Champions League football. It won't all come off. I know that, but it's just the clouds begin to circle. The vultures begin to circle, and it's maddening. It's maddening, because while some of it was our own downfall, a lot of it was, I will still come back to say that, like, there was a triumvirate of absolute worst things that could have happened there. Officiating issue, red card for a goalkeeper, or anybody in general, for just just an absolute silliness, and then not showing up in the day. If even one of those things happens, you'd be pissed off. But all three of them happened today, and that's galling. That's absolutely galling. And it's well, I won't go so far as to say that it's sullied a good season for me. I've got 3 months. Like, every single Aston Villa fan has 3 months now to stew on that, and stewing it we will, and stewing it we should. I don't know. I don't know what else to say, because I don't have the happy words. I don't have the consoling words. I don't have the arm around the shoulder words like I normally would in a loss like this. But it's I'm not looking forward to the next 36 days until PSR is over anyway. I put it that way, guys. On top of this, I don't know what the Europa League brings in. Like, just a cursory, and that's the shit part. Going back to what I was saying, is the shit part of football here is now Villa goes immediately to worrying about finances off the field. You know, and even if Villa had got through this today, the financial piece was okay. Yes, now we're in the Champions League. Next year, everything is right again. But things aren't right again after this year now, because of the financial implications that are going to have the knock-on financial implications over this is going to be huge. Huge. It's going to be huge. And I'm not being a harbinger of doom, but it is. It's going to affect what we do this year, next year, and the year after. We have 3 years of consequence over that refereeing decision and that poor performance from Aston Villa today. Everything is consequential. This isn't great podcasting. I'm just trying to see what the Europa League brings in. Like, and that's, you know what? Forget it. That's something for another day. I don't care. It's not as much as what we should have got. But I'm going to leave you guys go. I know Claret and Blue are going to be on. It's this might be might be a better listen when you've got two people bouncing off each other. But I'm wallowing here, and you don't need to listen to me wallow and bring more and more things about the consequences of this. But this is going to be a tough one to get over. just a downright no-show from Aston Villa today. And the refereeing decision, which flipped the game in its head at 0-0. And everything else that went with it. And everything else that's going to go with it now over the ensuing 12 weeks. We have to wait for Premier League football to, or 10 weeks, I think it is. We have to wait for Premier League football to come back again. So I'm going to leave you guys, and I'm going to take a bit of a break from doing podcasting. I think at this moment in time, I'm going to take a bit of a break from doing podcasting, maybe for the rest of the week. But thanks a million to everybody for watching the podcast, for joining us, for well, actually, I'm not going to be taking a break because I have to do something with Claret Blue on one of the days this week. But this podcast, I'll take a bit of a break. But thanks a million, everybody, for joining us. Thanks a million for all the kind words that you said beforehand. Thanks a million for all the encouragement that you guys have given us all year. Because it's, you know, it's been what? Well, I can't even tell you how many games it's been this season. 52 or 3 odd games this season. And if you include pre-season and stuff like that, which we brought you as well, you know, there's been a lot of games. And sometimes, you know, we're kind of going, we bin this one off. But because of the great community that you guys are and you guys have formed, and, you know, the encouragement that you give us and the interaction that we get in comments and stuff. And I know I haven't come to your comments, and please forgive me for that. I don't have answers to comments in there today. But for all that encouragement and all the back and forth that we've had, the engagement, as I say, it's really, it always is appreciated. And it's, we'd be lost without it here on the podcast. There's 1,500 people here watching me have a bit of a moment to myself here now. And I just want to say thanks a million, you know, and thanks to, if there's people hate watching this, if there's United fans hate watching this, or Newcastle fans or anything like that, this is what it means. This is what football means. I don't dislike you for coming and watch this, because you guys, specifically Newcastle fans or specifically Chelsea fans or anything like that, you guys go to the Champions League now and you guys represent the Premier League and do what you need to do and be as good as Aston Villa were in it this year. Because I know if we went into the Champions League next year, we would be even better than we were this year. Absolutely will be better than we were this year. And you guys go and represent the Premier League and represent them well. All right. I don't have any animosity towards it, because I haven't even looked at the comments. So that's why I say that. And I thoroughly wish you guys the best in the Champions League. And there is no animosity with regards to that. But from an Aston Villa point of view, today's flatness is Aston Villa related, Aston Villa caused to a great degree. And it's going to be Aston Villa that's going to have to get us out of this again. So thanks a million, everyone. Going to leave you on that somber note. Don't usually leave you on that. But we'll be back soon, and we'll talk more about transfers, which I'm sure will be affected based on today's result over the course of the next season. So hopefully you stick around for that, and I will probably be back to my chipper and more upbeat self. So thanks very much, everybody. And the main thing, I want you all back here again. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, even in situations like that, where my mouse won't work specifically, so I can't end the podcast. No, this is the hell I don't want to be left in. A somber podcast like this, and I can't click on end stream at the top right hand corner to end it. That would be quite a yeah. I don't know. That would be a fate worse than death if that was the case. Now I found my mouse cursor again, and I can do this. But thanks a million, everybody, and hopefully that's brought a bit of joviality to the end of this. But stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, even in defeat, up the Villa.